Well, originally I was asked to audition for Maddie, which is the lead girl, and then I read the script and I just connected more with Lena. It's a funner character to play, you know, which playing with stones and magic and everything. So then I asked my agents if I can not audition for Maddie and just audition for Lena instead. So I went for the audition and they loved it, and then I got the job, and I just was so excited because it's the funnest thing that I've ever filmed for a character. It's a very fun character. Lena is trying to keep it together with her magic, but she kind of ends up making all the chaos because, you know, she's playing with magic. So when you start playing with real effects of life, then things go wrong because you're supposed to let them flow freely and she's trying to control them. So when I got the role, I made a vision board of the character with hundreds of photos of just an inspiration of like a bedroom and like crystals and clothing and everything. And so I showed the directors that and the producers, and then I went to Anita, the costume designer, and I showed her that, and we kind of collaborated together. We were pretty much already on the same page of what kind of clothes that she would wear, and Anita just created the clothes from scratch, and it's a very unique design. Probably when we were filming the scene when I had to save the girls from the water was below 0 degrees, and all the water was coming down from the snow. So it was really serious. We had like stunt doubles there and everything to make sure that I was okay, and I had to go in the water. We had to separate it, so I was only in there for a small amount of time. Like I would go in and do a little part and then run out and get all hot and then pour hot water on me. I'd sit in front of a fire and then had to go back in again, and that was challenging, but it was really fun. Like I had a big smile on my face, but it was just you couldn't even imagine how cold it was, because I tried to prepare for it before I went into it, and it just shocks you, puts you into shock, and then on top of that I had to act and everything. So, but it tied into it well, and it was fun. A piece, I think, stays with you. You know, you can't help it. They've been a part of you. You've been living them for constantly for like months at a time, and they've been in your head for so long. So I think also that you can learn from your characters also, like you know, if something goes wrong for them and you're acting them out, then it can be a lesson for you of something not to do in your life. Or well, yeah, I was working on Neighbours when I started high school, and that was for 3 years, so that was right at the beginning of my high school years. So I was tutored on set more, but my experience with high school was interesting and a little bit challenging, but fun, just because that I was on TV and people, you know, some people, they don't know you your whole life, so they think you're your character and not, you know, a person. So sometimes they pick on you a lot, and sometimes they try to be friends with you sometimes for the wrong reasons, but it's okay. Like everyone's human. I see the truth underneath that, so it's all okay. I think our generation is just, you know, we understand that it's not really the American dream that our parents and all that were taught that it was. That, you know, college, people are going to college still and they can't, you know, get jobs once they're out of college. So it's hard at times for us, but I think it's also a good time that our generation is awakening to the world, and you know, we're seeing things as they really are, and we can make changes for the better, almost like what the hippie movement did in the 60s, but it's not so much of a hippie movement anymore, it's just a real movement. None. I loved every second of it, and even if it's freezing cold or the middle of the night or we're covered in blood, and that's what I'm in it for. I love show business, so whether it's music or making movies, it's the best job in the world. I love it.
It's like Disneyland, but you're paid for it.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I started singing, dancing and acting and modeling when I was 2, so kind of just since then I've always been around older figures in my life, and I've always been the younger one. Like on set, I'm always the kid of, you know, these adults, and so everyone has really just given me great advice, which has kind of crafted me into the person that I am today. So this is kind of the product of everyone's advice. Probably nudity and sex scenes. I just, maybe when I'm older, but it just seems really uncomfortable for me to do that. And yeah, I think that's probably the only thing, really. And I know that, especially because I'm a girl, it's like every role that you get has to have that in there. So it's always a lot of me, you know, I always go and audition for everything, but I don't see myself ever filming anything like that. I would do it, I would do nudity stuff for my own art, like music and all that, if it was like a art piece that I felt needed it. But I just don't think for acting, because it's just not my art, and I just feel kind of very vulnerable to that, yeah. Well, the thing is, even with this movie, like, we've been a part of it so long, and like every day it's been in our head, and we've read the scripts and we've filmed it and everything, so we know the film back to front. And even every time I watch the movie, my heart is still racing in the movie, and so it still gets me going, it still hooks me like the public, and filming it hasn't numbed me to the enjoyment and the ride of the movie. It excites me all the time. It's I don't even, I know the worst movie, but like horror, anything, like I'm scared of horror things, so to me that would be the worst. I just don't want to see it ever, so that would be my version of worst. I'm not really ashamed of anything. I love things that people don't like you know, like Strawberry Shortcake and My Little Pony and cartoons and all of that stuff, and I'm obsessed with the Titanic. I would really love to do like a Middle Ages theme movie, just, or any time period piece movie. But I really love like Romeo and Juliet days and stuff. My brother actually filmed Romeo and Juliet in Rome, and it was the full costumes and everything, and we joke that he got that movie and I wanted that movie. That would be the funnest thing to do, because it's kind of almost like if you film it, then it's kind of like you go back in time and you get to live that. So I'm actually gonna start filming in November and December a film called Fallen, and it's a book series, and they're gonna do parts of the book in different movies, and I play a dark angel in that, so I get to have black wings and throw lightning, and yeah, it's kind of an extension onto Lena. I really think that all Lady Gaga stuff is very, I think her albums, my husband and I appreciate them like real art, like we think it's like the Mona Lisa or something, you know, we're really into pop music, and yeah, I just think there's an art to that, you know, like hit songs, people think that you can just throw them together easily, and you know, it takes like 5 seconds and whatever, but it's really an art to that. And no, I wouldn't live because because it's the only thing I can do. If I always say that if I wasn't into the arts, just like acting or music or painting or anything artistic, then there's literally nothing I'm capable of doing. It's the only thing I can do. So.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much.